Today I'm going to talk with you about what you can do in advance of storms to protect your landscape and your property. There's a lot of things on your property that you might not be aware of that can become flying objects during high winds in a storm. We have a few examples of them here. If you have birdhouses, you may want to take them down, secure them in a garage or in a little corner somewhere where they won't be affected by the rain. If you have pots that have plants in them and are maybe a little too heavy to carry inside, you can tip them over on their side, and that will help the foliage from getting so messed up, the plant from filling up with water, and also keep them from blowing over on their own. Anything that you have hanging or around your yard can become a flying object. Hoses can be very dangerous during a storm, so we recommend that you have on hand some bungee cords so that you can bungee together things like hoses. Also, any kind of lawn chairs or furniture that could become flying objects, very important to get them inside, as well as any kind of structures that may be holding bird feeders or any kind of hanging plants. We also want to recommend that if you have landscape chores that need to be done, now is the time, because when you start doing those chores, you can get quite a pile of debris, and we don't want debris laying out prior to a storm. So get that landscape cleaned up now and get those debris piles taken to the dump or into the landfill. It's usually right before the storm that we're able to get sandbags like these to protect our home from flooding and water coming inside. An alternative to that, if you're not able to get sandbags, is bags of mulch. They're big, heavy, coated in plastic, and they make a good block for water if you have a place where you need them. Right before a storm, remove a few panels of solid fencing. This will allow the wind to flow through the fence rather than knock the fence over. While we're thinking about planning for the hurricane season, we need to look up and take a look at our trees and see what's going on with those. One thing that's really important is to make sure that we remove any kind of loose debris on the trees, like the seed pods that are hanging down or any dying, dead, or deranged branches. With palm trees, we don't want to over prune them because they're very good at deflecting wind up and over to protect other landscape items. Other things you may want to look at is like a dead tree like this, to get that out of the landscape prior to the hurricane season, because it can break off and become a projectile and be dangerous out in the wind.